To analyze this Insta2, we have developed, and not only we, but other countries, other organizations also use these classifications based on ISIC Revision 3, but for different purpose. For example, agro-industrial sectors. Which are the agro-industrial sectors? This is defined. Resource-based sectors, medium, high, and high technology originally comes from OECD. By the way, we little bit revised it so that we can compile the data at 2-digit level. ICT, good production sectors, then industrial sectors by intensity of energy use. This was classification we developed ourselves very recently. Then you can analyze the data for the sector shift, intensity of the structural change, and relation of growth and structural change, because we also provide the production index in the data set. Some preliminary results I am showing here. For example, share of agro-industrial sectors in total value added of manufacturing. I brought here 3 countries: Republic of Korea, which is now industrial powerhouse; India, growing very fast in the industrial sectors; and Tanzania, least developed country. If you can see agro-industrial sector, in 1970, Korea was more agro-based than India. But now, the agro-industrial sectors count for less than 20% for the India. They made such a big shift for last 35 years. Whereas the change for countries like Tanzania was not significant, even for the long time period. On the other hand, it is just opposite direction. You can see medium and high-tech sectors of Korea is rapidly growing from 1970 to 2005. Again, it is 35 years time span. So now almost 60% of the industry is high-tech industry for Korea. In 1970, India has more high-tech sectors than Korea, but now Korea has gone much up than India. For the country like, again, Tanzania, least developed countries, the change is not very significant. So this kind of, and I am just illustrating some other sector. For example, share of high energy intensive sectors. It's a kind of, you see, at the moment, industrialized countries use more energy. However, the share of high energy intensive sectors in those countries is low. Share of high energy intensive sectors in fast growing economies like India and China is high. China's share of high energy intensive sector is slightly going down. India is not, but developed countries still has very low share of high energy intensive sectors, and this also we can see from the for the long period of time using the Insta2 data. We have also index numbers of industrial production in the Insta2 database. I took the example of the motor vehicles production of the main country like Germany, Japan, United States, and Republic of Korea. You can see the growth of Republic of Korea in the motor vehicles production, except in 1998 when there was Asian financial crisis, when their sectors like Hyundai and all others were in a very bad shape. Otherwise, their growth was exponential for all these years. One more, I think it is one more. I'm comparing the average annual wages per employee in manufacturing sector of East European countries, East European and CIS countries, because these countries have recently changed their economic system from the previous centrally planned to the market economy. And we can see the country like Slovenia has already reached very high rate of average annual wage, almost $20,000 US per year, whereas many other countries of the Commonwealth, the CIS countries is the republics, I think which emerged from the collapse of the Soviet Union. Yeah? So Russian Federation, Albania, Ukraine, Bulgaria, all these countries have less than 5,000. It means less than $500 per month. Armenia is around $150 per month average annual wage. So we can see how these countries progressed, or how it is different progress in recent years. These are the most commonly used methods for the measurement of structural change. I am just illustrating here. There are many professors and students much better than I can illustrate here. Coefficient of the absolute structural change, and the simplicity of all these coefficients, because they are in the range. There is a minimal and maximum value, and in that range you can easily interpret the data, except for the rank correlation, because in the rank correlation, if the sector coefficients are highly correlated, it means there is no sector change because it remains the same. In other things, higher the value, more the structural change. Yeah? So what is the limitation of this whole database? Nice product, but there is also limitation. First of all, it is the data are presented in current prices. We present the data national currency as well as US dollar, but that is the nominal exchange rate. It is not something like purchasing power parity coefficient or no. It is nominal current exchange rate. So users, if they want to calculate the growth from this data, they have to be very careful, because there is the sometimes people say that if you divide by US dollar, you don't have to know. That's not wrong. That's not correct. That's wrong, because you can see nowadays what is the inflation also in US. Inflation is high. Due to the different of computation method, value added may different from the figures used in national account estimate. So this value added is not exactly what is used in the national accounts, because many countries they use so-called cutoff point. They cover only the large sectors, or sometimes United Nations itself recommended 10 persons engaged for the register. So all the establishment with 10 and more persons engaged are normally covered. Smaller than that might not be covered. In national accounts, everything is covered. So that this data may not be exact match to the national account value added. Then I already described that we this 2-digit database we compiled from the different data sources. Some data were at 3-digit, 4-digit, and we had to do a lot of aggregation, combination, imputation, estimation, you name it. There are several wording for that, and at every stage it's always possible that we introduce some errors. So I want user to take the note of that while using the data. So this is my last slide. I am going to conclude now. Despite these limitations, Instat2 is a very unique statistical product, especially for the structural analysis, and in terms of the number, country coverage, time spans, it provides a lot of information for your research. We in UNIDO, we are open and ready to discuss with you. If there is any problem of using the data, maybe we could provide some extra information so that you could use. And here is my contact details, and you can ask me. If you cannot ask me today, you can send me the questions by email. Thank you very much.